This just in from college hoops. Wake Forest getting a big win over Duke, 83-79. They were actually the favorites, so we can't actually call this game an upset because Wake were actually favorites coming into this game by 2.5 points. And so they end up getting the win, but certainly there are going to be bracket implications, and there are going to be other implications here because this is a developing story. Wake fans storming the court. Look at the middle of your screen here at the end of the game. Kyle Filipowski gets mowed down by the court storm. We saw this in women's hoops this year with Caitlin Clark. She got hurt. Filipowski is obviously hurt here as the Wake Forest fans storm the court after the big win. But Gary Parrish is here with me in studio. Gary, I mean, this is obviously a concern. We saw LSU get fined because of a court storming. If Filipowski's hurt and he is out for any period of time for this Duke team, I mean, I don't know what kind of penalties they're going to be able to put in. The ACC might put in here, but there's got to be something done about this court storming business.
Jeremy, I've been saying that exact thing for more than a decade. I mean, I can show you a column I wrote 10 years ago that says enough of the court storming, because it's not even eventually something bad is going to happen. This is what you hear sometimes from other people. They'll say, if you keep letting court stormings happen, eventually something bad is going to happen. What that implies is that something bad's never happened. That's just not true. It's never happened bad involving somebody at the level of Kyle Filipowski. But do you realize there are actually people who have stormed a court and been seriously injured during that? I mean, ended up in wheelchairs. It just didn't happen on CBS or ESPN, so it doesn't register nationally. But we were always trending toward this direction where somebody important, somebody very visible, somebody for one of the biggest brands in the country was going to be injured in a court storming. And now here we are. Earlier this season, it was nearly Iowa women's basketball star Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
She was okay, and she made that clear after the game. But now we don't know what the status of Kyle Filipowski is. And even, I want to be clear about this, even if he's okay, it is clear that he could not have been. And that's why we have to put an end to this. You're not allowed to run on the court in an NBA game after it, no matter how exciting it is. Same thing for the NFL, same thing for Major League Baseball. Why we think this is okay for people who aren't supposed to be on the court to be on the court has never made much sense to me. I understand there's somebody yelling right now.
Yep.
GP, you sound like an old man yelling at the clouds. Just let the young people have fun. I hear you. I would just submit that your fun stops at the place where you're putting other people in danger. Clearly, when you have 100 people, if not more, running onto the court full speed at the same time, the people on that court are in danger. Kyle Filipowski limped off of it. I hope he's okay. I'm scared he's not.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Luckily, he didn't hit the ground or anything like that. It looks like maybe he got stepped on, maybe he got shoved, or maybe he rolled an ankle, something like that. But he led the Blue Devils today, 17 points. He was their leading scorer today, and obviously a very important piece of this Blue Devils team as they lose to Wake Forest. But, I mean, would you expect to see some kind of a fine leveled against this? Is there a point where the NCAA steps in with something? Can they step in with something?
Well, this is a bad time for the NCAA to be trying to step into anything. I don't know that they have any power anymore. The LSU court storming, the reason that was fined earlier in the week after the victory over Kentucky is that's a SEC rule that's been in place for a little while.
Right.
You storm the court, it's $100,000. Next time you do it, it's more money than that. Broadly speaking, the rest of college basketball just sort of polices this on their own. But I have forever believed this, and we might be here, say, Monday morning, that when something like this happens, let's say if it comes back, and I'm just talking, I'm speculating,
yes,
but I'm just trying to have a conversation. Yeah. I'm not predicting this, certainly not hoping for it, but let's say it comes back and Duke's best player is out for the year. A legitimate lottery pick type prospect is out for the year, impacting his draft status. And you go, why? What happened? Did he slip going down the court in the middle of a game? Did he fall awkwardly going for a dunk? Oh, no, no, no. He was just playing a game, and then it was over, and then a bunch of students ran on it, and he got hit twice at least, and now he's done for the season. When something like this happens, or almost happens, or could obviously possibly happen, we're going to start having the conversations we should have had a long time ago. If Kyle Filipowski is injured in any sort of meaningful way, I do think somebody somewhere is going to put things in place to try to prevent this type of thing from happening, because frankly it just should not be happening anymore in the year 2024. And it will be a shame if it took something like this for us to finally get somewhere where we were supposed to be anyway. This is what I wrote 10 years ago. Eventually we will have something serious happen in a court storming. in a high-profile way, and all of America, at least the sensible people, will say, that's crazy, we can't do that anymore. If we all agree we were going to get there someday, why not get there before we have that day? I've never understood that.
Yeah, fair.
I've never, why?
Yeah. Why does it take that to happen, too? When
You shouldn't wait to have a car accident to buy car insurance.
Right.
You buy car insurance, so if something bad happens, then it's not really that bad.
Yeah.
You shouldn't wait for something like Kyle Filipowski to get hurt to bring about change to court stormings, but this might be the thing that does it.
And keep it locked here on CBS Sports HQ, because we will, of course, bring you the latest as we find out what happened. We saw Kyle Filipowski limp off the court there. 83-79, Wake Forest get the win over Duke. They were the favorites in this game. Let's talk about what happened in this game a little bit. Hunter Salas, a player that we highlighted in the college basketball pregame show as a guy that was a player to watch, and he came to play today for the Demon Deacons. 29
points was just fabulous. Just has been fabulous all season, and it's one of the better stories in college basketball, particularly given some of the conversations we are having within the sport. As you know, the NCAA has almost no power anymore. The name, image, and likeness is dictating recruiting at the highest levels of the sport. It doesn't matter if you can offer more playing time or better facilities. Who's got the bigger check? That's what recruiting is coming down to now. And the one-time transfer waiver is making it where players can move around wherever they want. And now, given that there is legal stuff that suggests even 2-time or 3-time transfers can move whenever they want, you get a lot of this player was here one day and here the next. A lot of coaches, I won't say most because I've never polled them all, but a lot of coaches will look at the current state of college athletics and they'll say, well, the problem with NIL and transfer waivers is that used to you had to fight through stuff. You had to get somewhere, and if it wasn't going smoothly for you, you had to listen and be coachable and work and get to the other side. And so now when they watch people transfer from one place to the other after not having success, they often say things like, running from adversity. Running from adversity, this young person, he's not going to be better off because of it.
Right.
Well, then there's Hunter Salas. Was he running from adversity after 2 years at Gonzaga where he didn't play a lot, only scored less than 5 points per game? When he decided to go to Wake Forest, was he running from adversity or was he looking for a new start, some success, maybe a fresh approach? Whatever he was looking for, whatever his motivation, he has found something really special. He's averaging a lot of points for a likely NCAA tournament team now, and he was the star in a victory over Duke today. He'll have that forever.
We love guys who bet on themselves and then come out on top of it. Hunter Salas certainly one of those. How does this loss, we know what it does for Wake Forest, you mentioned, I mean, it could help them get to the tournament. For Duke, what does this mean for their resume as they sit there as a 3 seed?
It's not good, but it's not devastating. I mean, the losses really you want to avoid on the road are the losses to bad teams that are going to hit you in quad 3 and quad 4. Anything within the first 2 quadrants is, I don't want to say it doesn't matter because it clearly does. Every data point matters, but this isn't the type of thing that's going to kick you too far in any poll or according to any bracketologist. It's a missed opportunity because you could have gained a quadrant 1 win on the road. But that's all it is, really. It's just a missed opportunity. The bigger story for Duke is, how is Kyle Filipowski feeling? Is he okay and ready for the next game, or is this something more serious at this point? Obviously, it's too early to tell, but we all did with our own eyes. Watch him get hit after the game and limp off the court.
A couple of home games coming up for Duke, too. They have Louisville and Virginia over the course of the next week. And, of course, as mentioned, we will update Kyle Filipowski's status as we hear the latest. Today, it is Wake Forest getting an 83-79 win over Duke. They're going to be talking about this game results and, of course, all the others over the course of the weekend on the Ion College Basketball Podcast. Gary Parrish, Matt Norlander. I mean, if you have not listened to this podcast, I'm telling you, it is one of the most entertaining podcasts. Yeah, it's about college basketball, but these guys are very entertaining. It's something that's certainly worth your time to listen to. Download and follow wherever you get your podcasts. Scan that QR code if you want to listen to the latest episode right now.